Greetings, this is Nolutaniko speaking, doing CIC 2601. I'm here to do a presentation under assignment 2. So, throughout this lesson, I presented content on grade 11 geography on the theme of climatic shift and consequences for South Africa. So, the objectives explain climatic shift and describe its reasons, to investigate community level outcomes with the aid of spatial data and figures, and to develop interventions for alleviation. These goals were consistent with Bloom's taxonomy, shifting from remembering interpretation to practical utilization and critique. Throughout the engagement phase, I utilized a concise YouTube video clip to trigger interest and build context. I broke important stages that offer scaffolded questions, which enabled pupils process information and initiate to articulate through self-expression. During the core activity, students examined geospatial visuals to recognize locations vulnerable to floods and droughts. They operated collectively to interpret geographic relationships and capture their discoveries. So, which helped them to implement learning to concrete situations. At the conclusion, students constructed collective displays through multimedia tools, synthesizing their discoveries and formulating actions. This exercise cultivated cooperation and evaluative thought, whilst also supporting the intended outcomes. Digital tool in cooperation was at the heart of the instruction. The multimedia clip gave multimodal involvement. Geospatial platform permitted dynamic spatial interpretation, and interactive wall allowed jointed multimedia projects. All tools were adopted to strengthen students' engagement and integrate ideas with implementation within the SAMR classification. So, the YouTube video illustrated the first two levels of SAMR, exchanging traditional text using video resources while providing participation. So, Digital Globe application demonstrated task redesign for students could control spatial layers via approaches impossible through print atlases. So, Padlet demonstrated new task design as students designed posted online responses collectively, a process that would be unachievable lacking tech resources. As the instructor, my responsibility was to enable the learning process by coaching students using digital media, raising open-ended prompts, and delivering responses. So to continue, students were involved agents. They viewed, interpreted, cooperated, and delivered. So this blend helped ensure directed their learning process. Okay, to continue, looking back on success, the session was impactful given that the class was driven by ICT tools and managed to relate climatic change content to relevant South African situations. So, an achievable refinement would require introducing greater local scenarios as well as engage local practitioners to engage local practitioners to enhance the debates. So differentiated teaching was attained using curriculum modification. I structured learning tasks for learners needing support. arranged diverse learners to promote peer assistance, and offered multiple formats like verbal, graphic, written submissions. So students having difficulty with digital platforms accessed non-digital maps. Meanwhile, skilled learners examined larger data sets. This practice confirmed that each pupil could take part actively in line with their capabilities. To conclude, the teaching was interesting, learner-driven, and accommodating. So the adoption of online platforms, mapping to Bloom's taxonomy, and use of the SAMR approach secured that the class reached the intended results while fostering reasoning skills and peer collaboration.